o'clock.
Okay, 6 o'clock. Meeting started. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence for our country. Thank you. Okay.
See call to order. Okay, announcements and correspondence. Anybody have any?
Deanna sent me a text and said that she greatly appreciated how the cemetery looked on Memorial Day. And it was really sharp and first class, and I just wanted to thank our road superintendent down there for what all he does over there, and he appreciated it, and I appreciated her comments too.
Anybody else? Okay, well now we're to the point, we got some meeting guests. We got no other than Matt Kelly, Orange County Auditor.
All right. Speak around this way. Do I need to speak to the microphone or can I speak right here?
That's good. Whatever you want.
Okay.
You can move the mic.
control the
You
mic.
can-
This will be able to see everybody, not
You-
everybody's my back, so.
You control the mic if you want.
I appreciate that. So appreciate you letting me have a few minutes to talk to you. My name is Matt Kelly. I'm the Orange County Auditor. I've been in this position for about 15 months. It's my first term. Love what I'm doing right now. So it's a lot of stuff going on, to be sure, this year especially. And that's what I'm here to talk about tonight, property valuations right now. We're wrapping it up. We're just about to be finished. And then that information will get out to the state, to the county of Columbus. They'll calculate, determine what's going on, and send us back what our property values have increased by. And I'm, heavily assume that we're going to be increased around 30 to 35% on our property values. Okay, now that doesn't mean that our taxes are going up 30 to 35%. It's not a dollar for dollar comparison. It just means our property values are going to go up 30 to 35%. That's my estimate. That's not the official yet. So when I get the official numbers, I will definitely communicate that. That's one of the reasons I'm here. I've talked to a lot of the townships around the county to make sure that the citizens, that the trustees have the information, that they can go out into their townships and give information. So at any rate, if there's any kind of questions, we have social media now, Facebook, County Auditor on Facebook. You can also look on our website, obviously. I have my personal cell phone number for the county on the website. You can call me direct and I'll answer your questions. If I don't have the answer for it, because I don't have the answer for everything, I'll get you the answer. I'll take that down, get you the answer, and get you taken care of. You might not like what the answer is, but I'll give you what the answer is per the state or per the Ohio Revised Code. So, sorry here. Some things we're doing here now. I want to talk about what the calendar events is here for the next year or so, at least the rest of this year. July of August. Just coming up here in July and August of this year, the revaluation notice will be sent to taxpayers. Okay, so you'll get a notice in the mail. It'll kind of show what the before value was and then the after value was. So you can kind of get an idea. Okay, there's my 30 to 35%. Maybe it's less, maybe it's a little bit more. I'm figuring that that's about the average, 30 to 35%. Around August and September, informal hearing period. If you disagree with that, I have a lot of confidence in the guys that went around and did our valuations, but they might not always be correct. They might have said you have a pool, you don't have a pool. They might have said you have a deck, you don't have a deck. Whatever that is, you know your property the best. There's a process for informal hearings to be able to get that out and get that corrected, okay? And that's around August through September, so plenty of time for that. We're going to do appointments for that because part of the feedback we got was long lines where you're working all day, you come and there's a long line, and next thing you know you can't get seen because it's after hours. Now that's not good for people who want information, right? So we're going to do appointments. We're trying to do some evening hours. We're trying to do some Saturday hours. All that will be communicated on my website. A couple of the parades and events throughout the year that I'm going to go to, I'll hand out informational postcards so that people have that information in front of them. It'll get more detailed as I go. I'm going to Aurora next week for their 4th of July parade and handing out the first of our informational postcards detailing its calendar events and then some other information on the back. Let's see, October through December, the final values are sent to the state for approval and tax rate calculation. So that's when Columbus takes a look at it, and then everything's approved and finalized. And then January through March of next year, board of revision filing period. So I talked about the informal hearings. The board of revision is the official, boom, this is going to be, like, if you contest it, that's going to be the final official evaluation of your house, what your house is worth, basically. So that's the calendar of events. This will be on our website here pretty soon, so you can kind of get down through it. It's very general now, I know. Within months, very soon we'll have this down to days. For board revision, same thing. We'll have some evening hours and some Saturday hours because we all work, long hours, days, and whatever your schedule may be. We want to be able to have open hours for citizens to be able to show up and be able to take care of this, important issue when they can. All right. There's a couple things on my website, on the auditor website. There is you can look at your tax estimator. So once you get that valuation back, you can plug some numbers into that tax estimator, and it'll give you an idea of what your tax liability is going to be paid in 2025 for the valuation year 24. So we're always a year behind on the taxes that we pay, right? Then there's another site, so you got the tax estimator, and then if you have levies that are going to be on your ballot, there's also an option on there where you can choose that, put your school district, and it'll go down every single levy that you're going to walk into your precinct and vote for on that particular election. So a couple of, I think, tools on our website to get an idea of what to plan for 2025, what our tax liability is going to be. So I say all that, not good news, right? I don't want to give this message, but I want to give the message, so I'm communicating what's going on so people can prepare for this. There's not a lot you can do about the market value of your house. When I moved from the village of Montgomery out to Suffield, we had our house sold for $35,000 more than what we listed it at, and it was gone in 4 hours. So that just gives you an idea. That's a personal example of the idea of the market right now, and that was 6 years ago, and it hasn't slowed down since. So the market is really dictating what the valuation of our houses is. The problem with that, and again, your house is your biggest investment that I think most of us have ever made, so you want it to be worth as much as you can possibly worth, right? The problem with that is that it's taxed on that valuation. So not much you can do about the market value, but there's a heck of a lot you can do about how it's taxed, and that's where our state representatives come into play. So on those cards, I will have the state representatives' phone numbers, and they're easily accessible. Gail Cavaliga covers most of Portage County, and Steve Demetrio has a little bit lesser portion of Portage County, but there are state representatives that can get down to Columbus and change the way that we're taxed. Marijuana is legal in Ohio right now. You don't have to like that, but we can tax it or figure out a way to get that tax money to lessen the burden on property owners, right? You have sin tax, you have legal gambling in Ohio right now. Again, you don't have to like that inherently for what it is, but it's legal, and we can find a way to tax it to lessen the burden again on property owners. I don't think the property owners in Ohio, certainly in Portage County, should be hammered every single time for every dollar that goes out into our communities. I want great police and fire, I want great schools, I want great parks, right? But let's find a creative way to fund that and not burden the property owner every single time. So I'm on board with that. I talked to our state rep. I don't sit back as an auditor and just wait for it to happen or let it happen. I've reached out to our state reps. I was on the phone with Gail Cavaliga just today talking about this very issue. Now, she's going out here at the end of the year, and in November, there'll be a general election for either the Democrat or the Republican candidate for state representative for District 75. That's Gail's district here in Portage County. Steve Demetrio, who's District 30, Gail's in District 72. Steve Demetrio is District 35, that's the rest of Portage County. Nobody's running against him. So he is our active state rep, going forth for the next 2.5 years or so. Those are the people that we need to talk to. A lot of people ask me, hey, can you lower our taxes? What can you do? I can give you a very fair valuation of your house, or my team can do that. And I think you'll agree, once you get those valuations, that, yeah, that's about what it's worth. Where our voices need to be heard very loud is down in Columbus about changing the way that we tax what the valuation of our property is. So I can help with that. Again, if you don't remember Gail Cavaliga, Steve Demetrio, if you don't remember those names, reach out to my office. I'll give you those names and numbers, and hopefully you're off voice down there, because we elect them, right? right? We're elected officials, they're elected officials. We can vote people out, vote people in that are gonna, do the things that the people, the majority of the people want done, so. With that, I'll take any kind of questions, comments, concerns, anything. If I don't have an answer, I'll get it for you.
Matt, you got one behind you.
Yes, sir.
So just for educational purposes, so it comes back, there's an increase in the value of your home, you're using a ballpark figure of, let's say, 30%, give or take. So that in turn is gonna have an impact on the amount of property taxes being paid. So can you help clarify for me, or just for residents in general? Because my understanding was whenever a levy passes, that going forward, that levy can never collect a nickel more than the amount that was authorized when the levy originally passed. So hypothetically, there's a fire levy from 4 years ago, and then this valuation comes along and says, oh, there's gonna be a change in your property taxes. What impact does that have on what you're currently paying or what that levy authorized originally?
Yeah, it gets complicated, but the original levy can never change once it gets passed. And then you deal with renewal levies, you deal with levies coming off the ballot, maybe it's changed a little bit. So that tax estimator that's on my website, if you have an issue on your ballot, such as a renewal, such as a fire levy, police, whatever that's gonna be, you just put your address in there and it'll say, boom, we know all your tax information, we know what levies are already on your property taxes. And if these pass or if they don't pass, boom, here's the bottom line, what you end up paying,
Okay.
so.
I appreciate you clarifying that.
Yeah, absolutely, and it does get very, very complicated. You can imagine over the years, just layer over layer of good ideas, or what were thought to be good ideas have just kind of piled up on each other, and now we're at where we're at. So, I guess the tone is a lot more louder than what it used to be on property owner taxes, which I think is a good thing. But if we just sit back and let it happen, we're gonna get what we get, right? So I'm an auditor talking about that, so, yes, sir.
So I have properties in Summit County, and they went through this last year, and it seemed like the county didn't really have a say in whether the increase was gonna be the state township, correct?
I'm the Kelly Blue Book of properties in Portage County, that's what I look at. Yeah, I give you a good assessment, and it's all the state, it's all Columbus. It's all the state that will calculate, it's your 32%, for us in between 30 and 35%.
And the one thing sort of addressed Roy, when it was weird, in Summit County, I have properties in different cities, and it was some cities that really got affected, some cities that didn't. I think it all ties to that millage and stuff, so it's so weird that it's hard to calculate that until.
It's down to your tax district. So
Yeah, right down your
where I live in
address,
Suffield compared to where somebody lives in Aurora, even though we're talking 30 to 35%, it's just way different.
Right.
So it's very tax.
But your calculator can predict by the
Yes.
address, that's awesome.
That's correct, yeah, so look at that, get an idea, planning purposes, but we can do all that now and plan for 25, but really I think what we should be doing is writing, calling, social media, whatever we need to do to let our representatives know that we need to pull back on the burden on the property owner.
Do you have some hit points where we can put on our Brimfield Township page?
I will, yep, the little postcard I'm working on, I'm gonna get better and better at it as more detailed information comes in, but I'll send you what we're gonna have to start with at the Aurora parade. You can continue to update that as we go. Yeah.
Now, is your estimator working now?
Yeah, it's on there.
What's your, just so everyone knows, just go to Portage County Auditor?
Yeah, go put
That's it.
Yep, Portage County Auditor, Matt Kelly, and then you'll see a little, link down there that says tax estimator. And then over in the, there's a tax estimator, and then that levy, calculator that I was talking about. It literally, there's an announcement over there that says, are there levies on your ballot? Click this link and it'll take you right to that.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a good thing that all department heads and trustees know, because you know when you get questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, every township meeting I've been to, this has been, even ones I haven't gone to talk to, like I am tonight, I get up and I talk for about this amount of time, even when I'm not scheduled to talk, because people have questions and they're concerned, rightfully so.
But where's the bulk of the money?
Bulk of the money goes to schools, like 60% of your tax dollars go to schools, and then it breaks down from.
No, what's the reevaluation?
We said it again now?
Board, everything goes up.
Right.
Split that.
Right, yeah, so,
The same way.
yeah.
Did yours go up much?
And that was weird, like in Cuyahoga Falls, the property went up like 35%, but the tax rate only went up about 10. But then I have some houses in Akron that they literally jumped 30% in taxes and evaluation. And it all depended on where that property was. But the percentage of the valuation was across across the board equal in Summit County. But depending where you live, it affected you a lot different.
Yes, it's a complicated system. The bottom line is, the higher your value of your house, your property, it's about, so if I say 30%, I'm using a rough estimate of about half that. You can plan for your taxes to go up next year. So you're talking 10%. I'm saying the rough estimate would be about 15 if you're looking at 30% increase in your property value. So.
We're gonna build a log cabin.
It's a sin for people to be taxed out of their houses, I'll say that. So we need to find a more creative, different way on providing services that we need. They're all important, right? But I think there's a lot of smart people in Columbus that can figure out a different way to do this. And the County Auditors Association is on board with this. We've offered recommendations to the legislature on what our ideas are. One of them is expanding the Homestead Act. If you're eligible for that, expanding what the income is, maybe lowering the age, disabled veterans, that type of thing. So we've given them a bunch of ideas. So they're not flying blind on this. They have ideas from 88 auditors in Ohio. They have the ideas on this. So it's just a matter of them to put it in the legislation.
The majority of them are probably homeowners, so they're gonna be feeling it too.
Yeah, that's one good thing that comes out of this right now.
Yeah, I think we're gonna hear a lot about it, that's why I asked Matt to come and give us a specific presentation. Because the citizens don't care, they just want you to say, you're the government, you take my money.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
So, if Matt can help us out through this, that'd be great.
I really appreciate you coming.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for having me. And again, the only time you have to see me, come to the office, call me. I plan on being at the events in Brimfield this year, it's a little down the road, so
Well, you're young, we need to get you to run for a couple other positions.
I'll stick to this for a little while. So, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
You said you're going to be at the events in Brimfield.
Yes.
Would you be available for the Brimfest parade on September 28th?
Probably, likely, yeah, I want to do a lot of that stuff, so thank you.
I'm always hustling. Yes, everyone can be at the parade.
But actually, that's really good information like this, so, yeah.
That's great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Matt,
Thank you.
thanks for sending me a letter this week.
What, Don Rice and butter?
No, the tax.
Oh, tell me how, okay, all right, well, that was a John Kennedy letter, I think. That's all right.
Okay, we have another guest, Marie, sure. And she, pleasure, she worked in our Parks Department for, how many months?
Just a few.
Yeah, just a few,
Yeah.
like 9 or so.
Okay.
So as many of you know, my name's Irene, and I'm working on my Girl Scout Gold, which is the highest award in Girl Scouts. And I got it approved a while ago, and then I was in school, and it was really stressful, so I didn't work on it. But now I'm working on it, and I have an itemized budget of everything that I need for it, which comes out to roughly $2,200 with a $300 buffer. So it's $2,500 if you want to see it. I don't know if you have to approve this because I don't need anything from you, but I wanted you to be aware of it and see it if you wanted. So,
Sure. Sue, you're big for the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts.
Just doing the
Yeah.
instruments around the.
I mean, what are you doing again? I'm sorry.
I'm making 7 or so instrument installations at the, what's it called?
Lions
The
Park.
Lions
Park.
Park. That's the one. Right over there.
For Dave, yeah.
Now, where are they gonna be? Where?
They're gonna be around the playground area.
Up front here.
Where'd you get all your money from again?
So I did a lot of fundraising and I got a lot of support from Hometown Bank. And then Home Depot and Lowe's donated the majority of it. So.
So what's it called? Boy Scouts and Eagle Scout? What's a?
It's called Girl Scout, it's called Girl Scout. It's called a Gold Award. So there's bronze, silver, and gold.
Congratulations.
So all this will make sounds, huh?
Yeah. There's one that isn't like sound related, it's more like texture related because it's like a walking path with different textures, but they're in the same vein, big system.
That's great.
Is this our copy?
You can have it if you want. I have another one at home. So
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions?
When are you gonna start?
I'm building all of them at home and then just installing them by the end of August.
How many different sets do you have with different ideas?
There's 7. I think there's pictures on them. I don't know if you can see them very well, but
Yeah,
Just
good.
Okay.
It'd be nice to see.
But I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop before I just randomly one day,
What are you doing there?
yeah.
Just picture doing that.
I'll just drive by and wave, so.
Thank you for doing that. Very cool.
That was approved back in February of '23, if you're curious. I dug that up. It's been a minute.
Right. Well, thank you for coming. Okay. Comments, what's the name of the minutes we're reviewing?
20, or the 12th, regular, bid opening meeting and then a regular meeting on the 12th.
You have to do them both.
Yes, separate.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we have reviewed and approved the minutes for 6/12, the bid opening.
Second,
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, I'm gonna make the motion for 6/12/24 that we approve the minutes for the regular meeting.
Second,
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Okay, now we got the agenda. Do we have any additions or subtractions?
I have an admin A3 I need. Put it away for July 5th.
And
July 5th.
July 5th. Okay. Anybody else? I'm going to make a motion that we approve the amended agenda with the addition to admin for July 5th.
Second,
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Motion passed.
I will also make a motion that we review the purchase order and sign it.
Second,
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Motion passed.
And I'm going to make a motion that we approve the warrants, I reviewed them and signed them.
Second,
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, now it's the time for our public comment. Everyone, please state your name before addressing the board. There is a 3-minute limit per person. And we thank you guys for being here, saying some comments. And for those of you who know, we don't, all we do is take your comments and then they're recorded and then Holly will generally get back to you. We don't have to, it's not a conversation back and forth anymore. So, okay, who has the letter?
Tony is the only one out here. Did you want to talk?
Yes,
please. I think that was the other one.
I'll start my clock before I get up there. I can talk a lot, right?
Thanks, Andy.
Good old Ryan Chem guy. You're a much younger guy than I said.
What's that?
You're a much younger guy than I said.
Not much, like, we're only a couple of years apart.
I know, you're a little young. Don't start it, don't start it.
I just, first I always start off, you guys do a great job. I've been on boards, tough thing to be on, you gotta do the right thing, people are always mad at me. Just a few things, been here 22 years in Brimfield, this is my third time that I've come. First time was when Joe Barbecue put his thing up, I came and asked if there could be anything done, and was told no. But anyways, that's an old story, we'll move on. Second time I came was talking about this, actually having meetings in the evening. And I know there was a lot of information and discussion, and, I heard some people say, we should only have it people come, and then there was some of you who were saying how it's important to make it available for residents to come and have that opportunity. And this is really the first opportunity that I've had since January to come and talk. So it is important having the evening meetings. Hopefully you guys can keep it, is my opinion. Some of the things though, and I don't know if this would be more financial, I don't know if our financial statements and budgets are available online or.
The statements are from last year. I have a budget in my office for
Okay.
24, if you want a copy of that.
And same with like ARPA funds, is there a special statement of what we got, where it went.
Yeah, there's an appropriation sheet that will show you the fund balance sheet that shows.
That's on our website?
No, it's printable. It's from a UAN computer system. It's the state's computer system. If you want a copy of it, I'll give you.
Yes, information.
Changes
Some
every
some townships you can go on right there and you see it, so it's, I
It doesn't
wasn't
link.
sure if I was looking in the wrong spots, but I'll
Doesn't
send you an email, you can tell me how to get that stuff.
You stop in my office, it's right there.
That's too hard.
I'm so far away from it.
The other thing is just, I don't know, I'm not trying to be negative, it's just things that I see and just want to sort of share my thought. I know the Park and Rec is very busy, we got all these projects going on, we got this new park coming and all that. And I think I just saw on the agenda, you guys are gonna vote to possibly approve 150,000 of paid and all that, that's great. My thing though that I see in Brimfield is we start a lot of projects, but they never really finished like 100% work, just like the library, great thing. It's not a sign. There's this like tarp that's like half hanging and there's weeds in the flower beds.
Typical process.
It's just, we spend a lot of money and my daughter actually uses the library, so it is being used, but it's just like, wow, we make these great steps and then the ball sort of dropped. And we're paying money to pave a park where this park here, potholes, stones, it just seems weird that maybe we're doing too much and not being able to finish something 100% all the way.
3 minutes.
Just oh, that was quick.
Sorry.
All right.
Thanks for your comments.
Yeah, you did have some comments, but we just in reference to the parks, I shouldn't be talking, but it's definitely focused. And it's just, unfortunately, we're limited by the money we have.
I understand that.
And all of us are so crazy about not having the money anymore.
Yeah, well, and the one thing, I know they had a 50-year plan on land, which is great. I don't know if Brimfield has 1-year, 5-year, 10-year plans on parks or even
I mean,
development.
Chick can have been trustees for a long time, and boy, if I had a quarter for every plan that was ever made by politicians, I would not be sitting here.
But plans help guide, plans may even help sell a levy. That like, hey, here's what we'd like to do, but I'll stop.
All the departments have their plans and budgets for what
I really have one question.
when they put a levy out, they usually.
What I mean by not financial plans, I'm talking developmental.
Right, when they put a levy out, they'll tell you what they need it for, and what it's there.
I understand all that, but do we have like what Brimfield Park and Rec should look like in 10 years? That's the thing I think, as a growing township, really need more in that planning part. There was a sidewalk at the fire department that had new lights put in, okay? And then the landscapers came, no more sidewalk, we still have lights going down.
Well, I
That's the
asked
planning piece.
I asked that a couple of weeks ago.
That's the planning piece that I'm saying.
Well, what they told us was that the steps were no longer deemed safe, right? So that's not, let's not even talk about that building.
No, I know, I don't want to talk about the building, but I'm like, I thought I remember putting new lights there, and then I'm like, wow,
They are great.
what's going now?
Those are the
So
lights.
it's like, and those are the things that, I'm proud of Brimfield, I like living in Brimfield, but those are the things that when I see, I'm like, why?
We're gonna see a lot done this year, hang on.
All right, I'm next.
So,
We're waiting for Matt to give us a bunch of money.
Yeah,
yeah, you need to
it'll be coming in.
come over and see that new park.
Yeah, and I'm happy to chat with you about parks anytime if you want to meet and walk or just
I
meet
would
in my
love to.
office. Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm actually got a little bit more free time, I'm half retired, so,
Yeah, I'll go walk with you.
absolutely.
Just,
Kim Park.
we got questions.
I think it's important, I think you guys are on the right track, it's just that we need to, like the signs, the entrance signs. I remember watching this, and you guys had a lot of discussion, you had a designer design it. That is a well-done job. Now, it took a while.
Except you can't see him at night.
That's all right.
We're gonna have the guy that goes around.
But those are the things that there was a lot of planning, discussion, partnership, and that project turned out really good. And some of the things I'm seeing, I'm doubting that part of it is happening. So it's encouraging if possible to focus more.
Well, thank you. Sorry, I appreciate your
Just
comments. Appreciate you coming. Okay, so now we're, nobody else to talk to, well, safety concerns. And didn't hear anything about how well our warning system went on that last bunch of wing, remember?
Yeah.
Yep, and I wasn't even sure if 10 sirens went on. Geez, boy, it really messed up down 43. Did you see all that, all those trees? I mean, Mike's place, I was covered with leaves. You know, it's just terrible. We really, this weather is crazy. So, okay. Well, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Hey, Roy.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I only have a couple of informational items for the board this evening. Just a brief update, our new officer, Nolan Rumler, he began his field training today. Today was his very first day at FTO. And that process is probably going to be a minimum of 10 weeks, possibly up to 12 for him to be in the field training program. So excited to get Nolan started with us in training today. A couple of community events are coming up for our department we'll be participating in. Brimfield Elementary is hosting their Welcome Back community event. That's going to be on August 27th from 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. We've attended that event the last 2 years. They get a really good turnout over there, so that's a good opportunity for community engagement. Another event's going to be with Porter's Metropolitan Housing Authority. We're having a community event over on Brimfield Drive at our PMHA location there, and that's going to be on September 3rd from 5 to 6. So we'll have officers over at that event as well. And one final informational item is we've made application to the Bureau of Justice Assistance Small Rural or Tribal Body Worn Camera Grant Program. Submitted our application back in March. Still waiting to hear back on that. So when I get some more information on that, I'll make the board aware that what we're going to do is upgrade our body worn camera grant program, our body worn camera program, and this grant will be a tool in our toolbox to help fund that. So I'll let the board know when I get more information on that.
Chris and I kind of talked about that if we didn't get all of it, what we would do, so we
Yeah.
have some plans to get those replaced.
This grant is a 50% match. So if we get it, it would be a 50% match, but we'll keep you posted going forward.
What do you estimate the cost of it?
Total project cost, that's about $27,000 total project.
Okay,
But that's all I have for you this evening.
okay, thank you, Roy. Chief?
Okay. All right, informational things, I might talk a little longer than usual. I just wanted to talk about our new Chase pickup that we got, the Chevy 2500 that replaced the Explorer. I had a question from a resident, and I just kind of wanted to address a couple of things. The reason that the bigger pickup was purchased was that it was actually cheaper than the F-150s that we actually purchased. So going out there, that was one thing that it did for us. But some of the things that it can do for us is it allows us to haul the county trailers, hazmat, the spills trailers, the fan that we have that the Explorer couldn't do. So it allows us to be more versatile in that. Having a pickup allows us to separate the clean space from dirty spaces. There are large concerns of carcinogens and cancer-causing agents that we like, well, my choice, I like to separate those from the clean area to the dirty area. We can put all that in the back. We did put a cap on the truck, which is going to, there's a purpose for that also. That will allow us to put barricades, chainsaws, stuff with fuels in it, so we can run that vehicle out on emergencies where we have tree limbs down instead of taking the big fire truck out. So we're actually saving money by being able to run a lighter vehicle out on that kind of things. And then last but not least, longevity. An HD truck should allow us to have a little more life than, we got good life out of the Explorer, but it was very one-dimensional, where this will be able to be more versatile. So I just wanted to give a couple of facts on the reasons why we went with the larger vehicle on this.
Yeah, how much was that Explorer?
14 years.
You got
Yeah, I mean, they had lower mileage and stuff, but it was time.
Yeah.
So it was time to get something a little bit different and a little bit more versatile. So since that Explorer was here, we probably, doubled our call volume. So there's just things we need to do differently now. So as Brimfield grows. Any questions on that? I know you guys didn't have many questions, but just wanted to express those. Okay, one of the things that I'm just gonna put it in place and say that we're gonna have everything done, I wanna bring back our senior luncheon for spring of 2025. So you'll hear more about that. We're just gonna go ahead and plan that, assuming that everything's gonna be done. They will be done with the fire station and admin building at some point, so I think spring of 2025 should be safe.
The young artists will be glad to hear that.
Yeah, it was always the plan, but like I said, let's just set it in place. So I'm gonna start working on it, and we'll be bigger and better than ever once we're able to host everything. So we'll have double the size. So that'll be one good thing that'll be coming back. Renewal levy. Did Mr. Kelly leave, or is he still back there?
He's hiding there.
All right, good, because he might correct me on this, but I think I am correct on this. So again, the fire department will be running a renewal levy. It'll be a renewal only for a 5-year term. That will not increase from the original amount that it was collected at, which is $467,000. That is a lot of money for us, so we need that renewal levy. If I was to turn that and add that as a replacement levy, now I'm bringing up to current values, which we are not doing. I just want to make that clear. We are only collecting on the original amount. Did I say that right, Mr.
That's
Kelly?
correct.
All right, good. Bethany Wagner guided me in the right direction
She's great.
on that one, so that will be a 5-year term. We ran that 5-year term, since I've been here, since Chief Keller was here before me, and we've always renewed that 5-year term. So there's nothing more than that. The reason we were able to run the 5-year term is that the JED has been able to keep us afloat. So with our increases in our JED taxes, and when we talk about coming up with creative ways to fund instead of taxing, JED has kept us afloat. So,
So unless I'm wrong, with more residents, that pie is divided up into more pieces, so you're not being taxed.
it should, if I'm saying that right, be watered down a little bit. It actually should turn out cheaper.
Right, Matt?
That's
Talking specifically about the JED?
No.
No,
The renewal levy would just be split, more houses we get, it just gets lower.
Sure.
So actually, the residents are gonna get a decrease.
should, as we get more residents,
On this-
yes,
On this renewal.
from what we're trying to run. Now, we had discussed a replacement, which would have been really nice, but we're okay. We're okay to run a renewal at this time.
I don't like to play devil's advocate, but I will.
Yeah.
Your costs go up every year, everybody's costs go up every year. So collected, let's say it was $100,000 is what that levy was. We're collecting it and spreading it out over more houses as more people move in, but we're still only collecting $100,000. But your expenses are now $150,000. The replacement, all that does, Matt, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it just goes back to what we originally voted it in at. So if my house levy or my taxes had gone down because of all the new houses that moved in, if a renewal passed and I said yes to $10 on my property, but now it's $5, it just goes back to the $10, but it goes for the $10 across the board with all the houses in there. So then that generates more money from the fact that that $10 is now charged against multiple new houses versus just watered
So
down.
not to complicate that too much, but I believe you're correct on that. And it probably would have been an option to go to a replacement. because
Someday
it would not
we'll have
have increased. That would have gave us an extra 300,000, but I just.
Well, someday, and we can look through those numbers.
So
We're good for now.
that's in the back of our mind. We can do that at some point, but right now, we felt that renewal was good enough for us.
So, and just for those of you that don't know, that Craig was talking about the JED. When we started the JED, and what we did was, we passed a resolution that fire, police, and roads would get 30% of our JED revenue. 10% would go into our general fund. So last year, we had a significant increase.
Yeah.
What was it? A couple $100, I can't even remember how much.
I think we each got 75,000 more, if I'm saying that right?
It keeps going up every year. I don't even.
That was every year.
Increases in there, we just kind of let it roll to the next year.
Right. So, the main work engine of our JED is television, because that's where all the business is going. And Mike's working hard to try to get water at 43. But, I don't get so much from Ken, but we have Kendra Tire coming, which is gonna be a huge impact on our JED.
Yeah.
We have the VA coming, we got St. Edward's coming, I think this whole JED is gonna, it's already exploded, so.
It's just gonna
Well,
get
we'd
bigger.
be in trouble without the JED, actually, we would financially be better.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing I just want to tell the chief, that's great that you reached out to Beth, chief, because for planning purposes,
Right.
you know, that renewal replacement, whatever type of levy goes on, she's a tool in our office that is really, really knowledgeable about what you want as opposed to what, you know, you might think or whatever. So that's great that she reached out to,
She's really good.
yeah, she's very good.
She'll get it down to the penny. She knows what she's doing, so. And she's able to explain it well, so. Yeah, so that was just, with that being said, I need to take it to the county on Thursday. I got I'll meet with, what's her name down at bottom office. She's got a-
Mayor's office?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I gotta meet with her, get it, the final paperwork approved for the Beyond the Levy, and then you'll start seeing flyers. I have to get those created, so. The information is coming very soon, so we can get ahead of it. So
Okay, well, thanks, Greg.
that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. And then, Joe, you were doing hers?
No, I got
You're doing that?
Headley's. Yep. So no old business, and then the new business is a creation of a part-time economic development and zoning specialist job description that was provided. You all seen a copy of this, how it's going to run a little bit different, more than just secretarial duties in this one. But I'll need board approval on that.
Okay, well,
I would like to make that motion that we accept the creation of a part-time economic development and zoning specialist. We have a young lady that's been working with us part-time. And I just want to say that she does have an associate degree in business, and she has 17 years experience
19.
in zoning.
19.
So this just isn't a person that walks in off the street. This is a young lady that has got good credentials that will be of benefit to all the things that's happening in our zoning and economic development department.
Okay, well, let's,
I would
let
like
me
to-
second that for discussion.
One thing I can add to that, Sue, is that we already employ her as a 1099 employee, so we're correcting some
She
internal
was a
Correct.
1099.
HR things with that job description.
And I understand that Cindy is really taking on a bigger part
Right,
with the day-to-day at the cemetery and all that other stuff, so.
Yeah.
I mean, because basically, we're saving another big position you're gonna create. Because at one point, you're gonna put another office staff person.
We have another staff person when we move over to the,
Right,
to help with fire and that person.
so right now, we're actually.
We'll make Dave pay for it too.
Yes.
Sure.
Good, okay. Well, we got the motion on the floor.
Yeah, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
yes,
Motion passed.
Thank you. Next thing I'll need is board approval of Kayla Nealon to the Economic Development and Zoning Specialist, an hourly rate of $26.50 per hour. This position will be part-time hybrid work schedule. The township reserves the right to eliminate the hybrid work arrangement as necessary. As you said, she's a 1099 employee now. She started with me actually in Macedonia back in 2005. So she's got 19 years, and she's been with me in some way, shape, or form all throughout those years. She brings a boatload of experience and expertise. She also, in addition to her degree, has a certificate in public administration. I'm hoping that you guys approve the appointment.
You want to make a motion, to the economic development and zoning specialists. An hourly rate of $26.50 an hour.
second.
Okay, and I got to meet her one time, boy, I was impressed.
Yeah.
Does she know more than you?
Not yet.
You get sharp.
Thank you.
So are you.
Oh, thanks.
I'm impressed.
She's done a lot of stuff with me as far as economic development. You look at Macedonia back in the heyday, we kind of learned from Joe Miglerini. And then, Joe kind of passed the reins on to us as he went. He went on to the actual Summit County and became the head of the county there for a while. But,
Yeah,
yeah,
those
I
people
learned from him.
understood how much you do and how much your department does. I mean, from residents to the new building, attracting businesses. You're helping drive everyone as is good police, good fire, good parks.
We got a good plan. Yeah.
You do. Yeah. Okay. So any other comments?
I'm fine.
All
those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Now for the zoning economic development, our permit fees up to date to,
Hold on a second, Mike, we haven't had it. The question came up since the holidays, the 4th on Thursday. If we're gonna keep the administrative offices on the 5th. Everybody's gonna leave on vacation, so we're gonna have to.
What, the fourth
Fifth
is
is-
on the fourth is on a Thursday.
Correct. So the question is, are we gonna be the administrative
That
officer?
way everybody can have a 4-day weekend.
Well, the problem that we'll have anyway is everybody will start taking the day off anyway. And the ones that have to stay will all of a sudden become ill. And John.
Our employees are not that way, they're dedicated.
So the question is, do you want to close the office on the 5th?
So then, I mean, is this a paid close?
It would be, yeah. It's just an extended part of the holiday.
I know, but what is it? Dave, is that a paid day off with your union?
They have, or with us being on 10s, they have Monday off and then Thursday.
Their schedule's different, so.
I mean, John, I think we give so many days off.
I was just asked to bring it up. You guys can go whatever way you want.
We got so many days off, personal days, geez, when does it start?
So let's make a motion in the positive, you guys can vote on it.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion in the positive, second for discussion.
Second for discussion.
Then this won't affect any of our salary. So this is just, so this will affect our,
It would work, it would affect 3 people at the town hall that are hourly.
I just don't want to be the devil's advocate when you say, but does that mean that soon our unions are going to start asking for that additional day off?
Unions are negotiating, these are non-union employees that were.
So you're talking about what, three people that this would affect?
Kirsten, Jendi, and Deanna, right?
Okay.
I mean, we got great employees. Now that you're telling me they're just gonna call off anyhow. Jeez.
Well, I didn't mean it that way, schedule a day off, but we'll end up having to have the office open and someone's gonna not be able to go, they'll have to stay.
Will there be someone there to answer the phone?
They'll have to be, if we're open.
There have to be someone there to answer the
You
phone.
said traditionally we've been doing this?
No, we haven't. I mean, the 4th floats. It's like Thanksgiving, we traditionally close on Friday, on Black Friday, but the 4th rolls, so it could be any day. It just happens to be on a Thursday. I was just asked to bring it up today, so.
Oh, I think it's a good subject to talk about. And I think that we have a really good crew and they work really well together and they really make Brimfield what it is.
Yeah, I wish we would have heard about it earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is
that's
like,
first I heard of it, but we can.
I just got asked today,
so,
so.
we'd like to have Nick weigh in on it.
Well, yeah, it will be another meeting before the 5th.
Well, I mean, we can close the office. Because you're not.
I just want you to know, everybody can take a day off. They can schedule a day off. We're just gonna have to, if everybody schedules a day off, then we're gonna just make somebody stay. So somebody has to be there if the town hall's open.
Well, I don't know, I mean, you probably should close the town hall, period. You're not gonna get anyone there.
I would agree.
You would agree?
I would agree.
You're our financial.
I don't have a
officer.
vote though, so.
But you're our financial officer.
I'm just saying that
You know the
it'll probably be
implications.
me sitting there, is what I would be, so.
Would this be setting a precedent or is this a one-time shot?
So one time, you guys are voting for it.
Well, next year would be on Friday, so.
Any of these days, I mean, you could always vote on any day that we're gonna close the office, you guys can take a vote, we can close it or keep it open. This just happens to be the 5th, and it's a Friday after the holiday. So the request was, do we keep the administrative office open? Or does everybody take a vacation day to close? So,
John needs a break.
Well, let's just go ahead and go.
all those in favor, Mike, just gonna make you vote first. Sue,
Yes.
Oh, no, I'll vote yes, I like it.
Sue,
But this is a one-time thing.
Yeah, it's just for
One
2020.
time thing, I vote yes.
Motion passed.
And then we talk about this again, if we want to change something, we can have Nick weigh in it, and then go from there.
Yeah, but this one's not gonna be able to change, because this one, our next meeting is after.
Right,
after-
right, let's just go ahead and close out, it's not working.
All right,
So that means that they won't be working on the building. It'll be 2 days, they'll be off the building.
what do you mean, our staff?
No, the new admin building.
Well, that won't mean anything for
Oh, I
us.
know, I'm just hoping they're gonna not use this.
They probably closed all week, didn't they?
No,
They're a construction company.
they've been there.
No, I mean, the week of the Thor.
Oh, I don't, that's not our employees, so I don't know.
Well, let's hope they're there.
But they're usually there on Thursdays at 11 o'clock. I'll be there.
Well, then it'll be closed on that day, because it'll be the 4th.
Yeah, they'll do that. I think, we talked about that, and I think they're closed. They're not coming in.
I hope so.
Gricon will be there. But
You
they
didn't have
don't have their scheduling off.
You didn't have any of one of those roofers coming in the beach road, did you?
No, I haven't heard a word.
Yeah, there's one guy in there when I stopped up, he was, well, I thought I was gonna have to call you guys.
No,
Said it was 125 degrees, get a leak on a mile around that roof.
Oh, my. Yeah.
That was hot.
So that's all I have for admin. So if you want to move this on.
Okay, bye.
Okay, thanks. So permit fees to date are $117,834.60. There's no old businesses. Updates, regional planning completed the 2050 comprehensive land use plan updates with the zoning commission. Zoning commission is scheduled to approve this on July 11th meeting. Sheets is now approved for the new gas station on the corner of Sanctuary and 43. Portage County and ODOT are reviewing the intersection for the curb cuts, but they are going to start on July 8th.
That's awesome, ground was moved up there, so.
Yeah, they'll be starting here soon. BZA approved the construction at the last meeting. It's just a phase construction. They had to go back through just because we don't have all full approval from ODOT yet, but we will. We have 10 new homes to date with 103 apartment homes that have been permitted. And I have 2 requests for a public hearing. The first one is the request Board of Trustees to schedule a public hearing for the amendment request from Pleasant Lakes of Ohio for zoning change on parcel 040230000081,000 from highway commercial to integrated commercial. This is behind the Holiday Inn, but I think we didn't have anybody here this last public hearing for zoning commission. I would imagine we'll need 10 or 15 minutes for each of these hearings.
So 7:30 and 7:45.
Perfect.
On what day?
So that would be my motion. So that'll be at 7:30.
Yep.
We need a second.
Second. What date?
It's the next trustee meeting, right?
10th.
The next trustee.
I think it's the 10th, right? Is the next trustee?
Yeah, it's the 10th. So on 7:10, you got enough time to advertise and go over that?
Yep.
All right, so the motion is that we're having 2 public hearings, one at 7:30, one at 7:45.
Yep.
And they're listed as the parcels there from Pleasant Lakes. One's gonna be at 7:30 on.
And then-
7.
Yep. And then the second one I'll read is
No, just do 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna vote on the first.
Yeah, let's do that. The first one is, that, well, let's go by B1, is out there, Mike's agenda. All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
The second one is a request Board of Trustees to schedule a public hearing to amend the zoning map from residential low density, residential medium density, again, town center, and open space conservation to park and recreation district. So what is happening with that one, and we just need a public hearing on it. We created a park district for not only Portage Parks, but our own park district. And that is in writing. It's in the zoning code now. It's just, we need the mapping to follow. So we'll need that public hearing at 7:45.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it, John. So that'll be at 7:45.
On the 7:10. All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Can I just respond to one of the public comments? as well, just because you brought it up. With the McGuire Park and the entrance going in, it looked a little bit confusing because I know it was hodgepodge, and that park district was donated. That parcel's worth about $2 million. But what we did is we did a TIF, and the second TIF for Maple Crest is funding that McGuire Park. So that money started to come in, and she's using it for payment. So that's why we kind of jumped around and jumped on that right away. And that should be funding it for the next 30 years. So.
And unfortunately, we had a timeline that we had to deal with, another construction project that we had to get done at the same time in that area. So we didn't want any of that to change because it's right next door to the facility. So
Well, I have her card now.
Yes,
I heard it's beautiful back there.
it truly is.
Thanks, Mike. Anything new on any of the other starts? Duncan or any of that stuff?
Duncan is, they don't have their full permits yet. They have site plan approval, and I approved the actual building itself. So I'm just waiting for them to pay their fees, give me their last set of drawings. Drug Mart has preliminary plan approval. They won't get full approval till ODOT approves what they're doing, and they submitted their traffic study to actuate the signal on, is that Falcon Drive, and then to move the school zone from 43 onto Falcon. So,
Helpful.
yes, and then the apartment homes have started. I was talking to
With the what?
the apartment homes have started, and they're moving topsoil behind there. That's the 103 units back there. VA's scheduled to start this year as well. So,
when's that road being done for the apartments back there?
so there's a little bit of alterations to the TIF that they're requesting, and there were some questions that we have out at the county engineer holding that up. As soon as we get that amendments to because the TIF was already approved, there's just a couple amendments and some questions with prevailing wage on the roadway, and does it have to be prevailing wage? And the county engineer and the prosecutor are answering that as we speak, because they want to go out for bid and do it themselves and then give it back to us. Problem is they're dedicated streets, so I couldn't answer that question. Usually when we do a road project, it has to meet prevailing wage, so.
Yeah. All right.
That's all.
I was just curious.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Dave, you got nothing, huh?
Well, I got a couple FYIs. Sorry, I was on vacation. Everybody wanted paperwork before I got back, so. Just a couple things real quick. Howe Road, the railroad tracks, it's moving along very well. They should have it opened up by the 29th. 28th is what they're shooting for, but we have a major rainstorm coming tomorrow, so it'll probably push the day. Just a couple things, the paving projects. Today they went out and did the saw cutting at the end of the driveways, which we tried to explain to some of this. What it is it's just to make a good transition between the new road and their driveway aprons.
Now, where are we talking?
We're talking Portage Commons. What it is they're gonna be milling the edges of the roadway, 6-foot wide mills. And if you got loose concrete, it'll just blow it out. So we do a straight edge cut, and then that way everything coheses together better. I have some residents that have some concerns, but we've already made the saw cuts, so they're moving forward. They're planning on milling Portage Commons, which again is gonna probably get pushed tomorrow. It's supposed to be tomorrow. So they'll probably push milling to Thursday, and then they'll be doing the repairs for the driveway aprons and removals on Friday. Then Monday, 7/1, they are going to start milling Highway View and paving Portage Commons at the same time. So then hopefully Tuesday, we will be paving Highway View and the job will be completed.
Wow, that's quick.
Well, they're planning on popping in, popping out. Plus, some of the tree work's being done now at the cemetery and the police station. So,
The trees.
They got jobs off there, yeah. They got a lot up today.
yeah, they got some. With the weather and the wind starting to pick up, you can't really use a crane, what they were doing, so they had to kind of stop.
Where they park their car on that
You probably park here tomorrow, because it's gonna be raining. So,
A big tree's gonna come down, that's getting a little copy.
trees. He'll be up there for another 10 years. No. But other than that, that concludes my report.
Glad you're back. Becky,
oh,
are you glad you're back?
No.
Okay. Okay. Cassie, parking lot.
Yes. I have a couple informational items for you and one item for board approval. The first update was, I have a meeting with Portage Turf this week. They said whenever they're there in the area, I'll go over and meet with them this week, to schedule seating at the town center fields, a follow-up from the last meeting. Upcoming programs on July 8th, we have Fossils for Kids from 1 to 3:30 p.m. here at the community center. On July 12th, we have Tots Nature Adventure from 3 to 4 p.m. at Lions Park. And also on July 12th, we have a summer concert with Time Machine from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Brimfield Historical Society. And we have our first nature camp on July 17th through 19th. That says 6 registrants. As of this morning, it was 9 registrants. So people are filling out their last minute registrations. I have a note about Brimfest flyers. Regretfully, those are on my desk. However, I do have flyers available if you want to pass them out. I know Holly went to an event over the weekend and took some and passed them out, and I got a few contacts through that. So I can bring those to you, or if you're in my office and you'd like to hand those out, I'd be happy to give those to you.
Grab some.
Yeah, I can stop and drop them at the restaurant if you like. So, yeah. And then new business, I don't know that should be a new business, but anyway. For board approval, I would like to request approval to award the bid for the McGuire Park driveway and parking lot project to McBee Paving LLC in the amount of $150,690 as recommended by Oak Group.
Okay, I'm gonna make that motion, John.
I'll second it for discussion.
I'm sort of glad these guys did on it. I mean, I went down and talked to them, they did that parking lot down there with the recreational field.
Yes.
They did an amazing job. And they were really into the detail of it, which I was glad to see, so I mean, they seem like a great bunch of people to do it. So when were they thinking of starting?
I would have to confirm that with Charles, but
Just wondering how quick they want to get going.
So, yeah, there's a couple documents that have to be signed from Sutton Crossings attorneys. It's in their hands. They're looking for phase 1 as well. There's a little bit of confusion who is paying for the phase 1. We approved the phase 1 that we would reimburse for that phase 1 and have their lender do the phase 1. So we reached back out to Gross Builders, who owns that, and said, hey, you guys got to do the phase 1 and we'll reimburse you back. But that's
So
where
we
it's
have
at.
to move the sign too, right?
Yeah, all that will commence once they put their signature on the line, and then we can.
So those are things that have to be done before they can start putting the.
Yeah, there's a bunch of paper. There's some easements going both ways, grading easements so that we're allowing the VA center to come on part of it. We've got easement with apartments as well. We have variances on where the sign's going to be. And then we have the land swap that needs to be recorded. But we're almost there. We're almost there.
So what are you guessing?
Probably 2 weeks.
So then we need to approve this based on timing with Mike Ladd, I guess, is what we need to put in this. So they
Once we
just
get their
vote it tomorrow.
signatures, yeah, we have to record it. There's a timeline at the county that we had from the time regional planning approves that actually replat. And we're very close to that. So we might have to walk that back through, or you'll see Cassie and I getting people's signatures the last day, spending a whole day just driving around getting people signed off, which may happen. But I'm hoping to get it done in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm gonna put in the motion that we coordinate the time with Mike Ladd,
Mhm.
so that they just don't show up when they're starting.
Do it there for a motion.
That's perfect.
That's what I was asking, time and meeting for Mike Ladd. All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Hey, Cassie, you might want to start getting going on a sign.
yes, we have a meeting sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just to sign a gate, I really think, till everything's safe, we probably need to put a gate up there once it goes in. I mean, you don't want people just, I mean, they're gonna sneak back there anyhow, but I don't know.
Yep.
You guys probably ought to talk about it and see what you think.
They still coming off the other side though.
Do I know? Yeah, I'm coming in. We gotta put a machine gun nest over there.
When aren't they coming in off the parking lot of town woods?
Yes.
They're coming in a lot of the.
Yeah, there's a lot of places. I mean, it'll be a perfect place for parking and stuff. So,
Regarding the sign, Holly and I have been getting some preliminary drawings put together, and we actually have a meeting to go over those tomorrow, so.
In the library rooms and that as well.
Yes, yep.
then you need rules, Dawn, what do we do down there that was backwards? Dawn till dusk is
Yes,
closed.
yes.
That was a long time.
No one ever read it.
That was a long time ago, before our time.
Right.
Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you. You had a nice meeting, Holly, Ryan, Cassie, and Hannah. Boy, do they got a lot of ideas. Okay, well, thank you. At least we're moving these parks forward. Okay, information, Joe.
Well, it looks like I put my agenda in backwards from how everyone else does things. So we'll start with board approval. We'll get the hard part done first. I am looking for, I guess, board approval for technology purchases for Phase B, the town hall. This was all going to be, is all being spent out of allocations already in the loan. So it's not anything that was already part of the plan, but it's.
Did you coordinate that other portion of it?
Yes, I did.
So we don't have to do the tip or the
No.
jet?
So what I'm asking for is approval for a total of $29,125. That breaks out to be $24,931. So most of the money I'm asking for, or going to be allocating from the loan, is going to be for stuff regarding the new meeting room. So this will be the sound system, the live streaming cameras, and all the stuff we need for doing the in-room video. And that's going to be professionally installed by a local company.
Okay,
So it's,
and the security camera system will.
and the rest of it is the security camera system for the new town hall and the network switches and the internet stuff we'll need for the new town hall.
So then you'll be doing that part?
Yes, security cameras will be installed as part of the construction of the building, but the programming and that will be done by me. The network switches are installed by me.
You did a good job with the fire.
It's pretty much, the security camera and network is very equivalent to what was put in the fire, obviously. The meeting room is what makes the process a little different, because with the meeting room and the new town hall.
Well, just to know that those were all dollar amounts that were allocated within the loan that we had. We just had to pull from a couple different areas. There were, one was, where's the first 10,000 from? I'm drawing a blank. It was in that technology.
There's a 10,000 for technology, there's 10,000 in miscellaneous, and then there's some,
Unused dollar.
unused dollars that were allocated in different buckets that we're moving some money around to put more in it. Because originally we only allocated $10,000 for technology, so we had to move things around so we can do what I would feel is doing the meeting room right. Because one of the biggest comments I get is that the audio in this room is not great. So I want to make sure that when we move into the new room, we have much better audio since we're gonna have such a nice meeting room. I want to make sure it sounds as good as it looks.
And the last part of that dollars, that 9,000 that was out there, came out of an area that we already completed, and it still had extra dollars in it, so we just moved that into that.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve $29,125 for town hall technology. So you need me to break it down now?
It was 29,125. The meeting room AV is 24,931. The security cameras 2,511, and the network is 1,683. The line share, that's all the meeting room stuff.
So we'll just gonna
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
When do you think you'll find, they gotta,
It's got to be coordinated with, and I'm working with Rycon on that.
do you do some of the stuff before the drywall goes up, or?
All the wiring, I've already worked with Rycon and their electrician to get all the wiring in wall. So that was already part of Ricon's bid package, their plan. We had to make some changes for additional speakers, but that is already being done. So I kind of preemptively put the wiring in place for this to be approved.
Because when I was talking to Scott, it sounds like this, as soon as they get everything buttoned in and the windows
Yes.
and stuff up, they're gonna get going on that drywall.
Yeah, everything's coming together really nicely. So that's why I'm ordering this stuff now. That way I have it when they're ready. I'm not waiting for anything.
Right, do they start putting windows in?
I believe the windows are supposed to be going in later this week, if not next week.
Those front offices, they're not in yet.
Yeah, they just had to button that one part of the roof up.
Yeah.
So,
So they're, from my understanding, they're really close.
okay, good.
The next thing I have is just FYIs. I'm looking at our social media archiving solution. Last year around October was when we implemented Smarsh as our social media archiving. While we have not had any public requests on that, I am keeping track of it. There's some issues that I'm having with that solution, so I'm actually looking at different ones before that renewal comes up. So I am revisiting, making sure that we're covering all of our bases from that. So if anything ever does come up on a social media standpoint, that the township is protected. So just letting you know that I'm going to be revisiting our social media archiving. The other thing is more of a personal thing, I guess. Some of you mentioned I've gotten involved in the amateur radio hobby, but as part of that, I am now volunteering with the Portage County Emergency Management, or EMA, I forget what A actually stands for. I'm trying to blank, as part of their emergency communications unit. So if a disaster or a large event ever was to happen in Portage County, they deploy a team of amateur radio operators to be that communication based. I will now be part of that emergency team. So if we ever had a large fire or event and they have to deploy emergency communications, I would be one of those people. And the reason I'm mentioning that is if there ever was something that would happen during the day, obviously I would focus on the township, but I may work with Holly to let her know where I'm at if I ever had to deploy as part of that event. But it's kind of a
So the world's a
FYI.
pretty crazy place right
The
now.
world is a crazy place. And I mean, an example of that would be the tornado that hit in Wyndham. They did deploy the communication team for that, and they actually utilized that team to do damage assessments. The communication unit is actually who does some of the damage assessments for the county. So we have access to an application. We go in, we look at each of the houses, and we have criteria of how much damage was done. So the county has an idea of how bad, this stuff was done. So it's part of, the volunteer work that the unit does.
I would like for you to write that up in a statement and put that in your personnel file for the township, that you are a part of this group.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's a good thing to do.
I think so. Hope so.
Do you know a guy named Thomas Nye? He's big into that too.
Don't recall.
Danny, big into that?
That's all I got.
Hope it works if we have an EMP. Electromagnetic.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we will.
Okay, well, thank you. Thanks for doing that.
Yep.
Job, Joe. Okay, you got nothing cemetery, John, you got anything?
No, I don't have anything.
You have an executive session. Please roll in the board. Okay, this date, 6/25/24, trustee Mike Stensky will convene an executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 121-122 for the purpose of considering the following matters. Employment. Except, have a public speaking. Okay. No.
Then you just need to say.
Y'all just need a second, sir.
So we need Roy and the board and sorry.
Let's take a 5-minute break.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Okay, we're adjourned at 7:14.
good one. Hopefully you win.
I was gonna say, do I
We just have to come back. Yep.
Okay, everybody ready?
Yep.
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the hiring of,
Justin Kinich, is that a, just Kissimmee? Kissimmee.
as long as
As a
Mrs.
full-time police officer effective his passing of full PADA testing.
Clark testing, yep.
Chief Mosley will set the date.
Okay. Sue, second?
Second. All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, well, any more business before the board? Nobody,
anyway.
I don't think anyone's sticking around. Just out there, BS.
No one's there, so.
I didn't.
Mike, you second?
Second.
All those in favor, Mike? Yes. Sue? Motion passed. We are adjourned at 7:30 PM.